Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Tuesday, February 8th. With the details, I am Khalil Cato. The first shipment of 110 pounds of medicinal cannabis out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines arrived in Germany this week. The shipment, which left the shores on January 18th, went through vigorous inspections and testing. Chief Executive Officer of the SVG Medicinal Cannabis Authority, Dr. Gerald Thompson, said he is satisfied with the Caribbean Cannabis Company, which was issued the certificate to export. Dr. Thompson said that more licenses are expected to be granted and more medicinal cannabis is expected to be exported soon.
This company, CCC Medicinal, certainly will continue to ship. Others will start to come on stream. Another one is quite ready, and others are still in the process of finishing their greenhouses and getting the details of their seeds they could be using and all that sort of stuff. So I'm expecting that some may be 3 months away, others may be 4, 5, 6 months away, but we're going to see a steady rollout from the different companies. And there are a number of traditional cultivators who are also associated with these companies in relation to the transportation and shipment issues and so forth. So I'm expecting that it's going to be very shortly. And we'll keep you abreast in terms of what's taking place. But I'm expecting that certainly within the next few months, we will see additional shipments and so forth out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This was only the first, and there will be many, many more.
Dr. Thompson said that the local cannabis cultivators are also benefiting from the shipments.
But a number of companies have battled through the pandemic and eruption, and they have built out significant structures. Additionally, we've given out a lot of licenses to the traditional cultivators, and we've given licenses to traditional cultivator groups, cooperatives. And the bigger companies have to purchase a minimum of 10% from traditional cultivators, and some companies are hoping to purchase 100%, and we will monitor all these particular things. So things are now really getting started, because it takes time for some companies to build their factories, to build their greenhouses, to import the product and really get it done at the highest standards.
Dr. Thompson said the Medicinal Cannabis Authority has been working feverishly to get everything streamlined for the legal export of cannabis.
Essentially, this is really proof of concept, and it proves that a small nation like St. Vincent that organizes well, that follows the various protocols, can get this done. What does it involve? It really has involved having an act that is recognized around the world as really a good, solid document, legislation. And then also making sure the other things are in place. The license companies have to go through rigorous checks and due diligence to make sure that they're bona fide. But some of the most important thing is that they have to cultivate according to good agricultural and collection practices.
The MCA CEO expressed gratitude for the support provided by key stakeholders such as the AIA, Customs and Excise Department, Invest SVG, the Ministries of Finance and Agriculture, and other agencies. Roshad Bala has been reappointed as government senator, with Rene Batiste's appointment revoked. Bala was sworn in today by Governor General Dame Susan Duggan. The senator, who will also serve in the capacity as parliamentary secretary in the office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for information, took the oath of office, allegiance and secrecy in the presence of other government officials.
I, Roshad Bala, being appointed parliamentary secretary in the office of the Prime Minister, Foreign Affairs, National Security, Legal Affairs and Information, do swear that I will not, on any account or at any time, disclose the counsel, advice, opinion, or vote of any particular minister, and I will not accept with the authority of the Cabinet, and to such extent as may be required for the good management of the affairs of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, directly or indirectly reveal the business or proceedings of the Cabinet, or the nature or content of any documents communicated to me as Parliamentary Secretary, or any matter coming to my knowledge in that capacity.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves congratulated Bala on his reappointment, noting that he had to ensure he was reinstated, as he will be on official travel overseas with him.
I will go tomorrow to Dubai, God willing, and Senator Bala is part of the delegation accompanying the Prime Minister, and I didn't want him to be going there without his own formal position as Senator and as Parliamentary Secretary in the office of the Prime Minister. So all's well that ends well. Thank you very much.
Rene Batiste served as Senator for less than a month as Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves moved to have the 2022 appropriation bill passed. Governor General Her Excellency Dame Susan Duggan praised Batiste for stepping up when called on to serve, deeming her a true Vincentian patriot.
Ms. Batiste, for being a true patriot and outstanding Vincentian, who always rise to the challenge where it pertains to nation building and moving our country forward. Thank you, and all the best to you.
Prime Minister Gonsalves noted that he decided to appoint Batiste as most of his ministers had contracted COVID-19, including Bala. He thanked Batiste for her service and contribution to the 2022 budget debate.
Rene Batiste agreeing to be appointed so that we can get our work done. Because fundamentally, when the people voted in 2020 November, they expected that the budget will pass, and that's very important. And in that election, there were 6 parliamentary representatives elected by the people on the opposition side, and 9 on the government side. Well, in the mathematics, can 6 be more than 9?
2 persons are now dead and 1 injured in an unfortunate twist of fate on their job site yesterday at the St. Vincent Distillery Limited, or rum factory in Mount Bentic, Bay Road, Georgetown. Reports are that at approximately 1:45 p.m., a wall that was erected at the factory collapsed on 44-year-old Delano Scrappy Spencer and Maxwell Seals, who were at the time working on a construction project in the vicinity with Fraser Construction. Cameron Moore, who also sustained injuries to his head and pelvis, was rushed to the nearby Georgetown Medical Complex. Today, our news team caught up with a business operator who recounted what he saw.
Yesterday, while I was here, roughly some minutes or 2, I saw a lot of people running and all of that, so I was wondering what happened. Then someone said like there's an accident at the factory with some of the construction workers. So after that, about 15 minutes or thereabout, I went across, and when I went across, I saw like a portion of wall is lying flat on the ground. And then I observed there was a dark pool in covered, and when I inquired, they said 20 fellas got damaged. 3 of them got damaged really, but 2 is there lying. Most everybody saying they're dead already, and the other one, they hustle him quickly to the hospital. The workers who were there, they went quickly, but there was very little they could do from that kind of accident really, but they respond very quickly, Workers, they, as soon as they got knowledge that there's an accident, they operate very quickly and efficiently to try to see who they could help, and they went with the one that showed some life very quickly, even before anybody actually knew,
Another person who asked to remain off camera told our news team that she was in her porch at the time without realizing the magnitude of the incident. She recalled hearing a noise, then felt her home shaking, which led her to believe that one of the larger cables nearby had burst. But it was not until another family member went to the back of the house they learned about the unfortunate accident. While expressing his condolences to the family members of the deceased, Ebenezer Crichton told our news team that he is saddened by what happened, as both men would usually stop by his stopped by to support his small business. He also mentioned some ways in which such incidents could be avoided.
What I would like the ministry to do, especially when you're doing these big projects, in terms of, repairing these older structures, you need more experienced people, and you make sure the laws are enforced so that you could have a safer environment, because that is the only thing. Nobody could make it for us unless we do it for ourselves, and we have to make sure that when we make laws, we live up to the laws, because that is what is causing the problem.
Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding a shooting incident that occurred last evening in Belmont, which left a 33-year-old bodywork man of Richland Park currently warded at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital with multiple gunshot wounds about his body. The police said, according to investigations, at about 5:45 p.m., the bodywork man was in Belmont in an area called Meng Village in his vehicle. On leaving the area, traffic came to a standstill at a narrow piece of road. The bodywork man was approached by an unknown assailant and was shot 3 times about his body. He was rushed to the hospital for medical attention and remains there, reportedly in stable condition. Persons with information that can assist with this investigation are encouraged to contact the Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crimes at telephone number 456-1339, the officer in charge of the Criminal Investigations Department at 456-1810, or the officer in charge of the South Central Division at 458-4200, or any police station or police officer you are comfortable with. All information received will be treated confidentially. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. Meanwhile, police are also investigating the circumstances surrounding an accident involving motor vehicle H8906, a white Nissan Caravan owned by Angus Mackey of Arnesvale and driven by Desron Samuel of Diamond, and HY112, owned and driven by Ronald Trotman of Stubbs, that occurred yesterday along the Diamond Public Road. Police say, according to their investigations, at about 3:30 p.m., both omnibuses were heading into Kingstown with students of the Sinclair Dakin Secondary School on board when H8906 reportedly ran into the back of HY112. Several students sustained injuries during the accident. They were taken to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital for medical assistance, where they were treated and discharged. Investigations into the incident is ongoing. The Calypso fraternity in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is mourning the death of 2 great Calypsonians who made tremendous contributions to the art form. Former president of the association, Basil Bongsukarno Cato, who also served as president of the SVG Football Association, died last Friday, February 4th, in the United States. Another outstanding Calypsonian, Francis Sir D. Mayers, died on Wednesday, February 2nd. Sir D was known for his big hit in 1992 called Woman Gone and Woman Day. President of the SVG Calypsonians Association, Earl Cabot Bennett, said that they are saddened by the death of the 2 Calypsonians who contributed greatly to the art form. He used the opportunity to express condolences to their families and friends. Bennett further shared some fond memories of the former president of the Calypsonian Association, Bongsukarno.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Calypsonian Association is in a state of mourning because we have lost a national treasure. Yes, a national treasure in the person of Vincent Basil Robert Cato. With a name like Vincent Basil Robert Cato, one has to say that Bong, as he's known in the Calypso world, Bongsukarno, was destined for greatness. He served the association extremely well, both as an artist and as an administrator. As an artist, he's well known for his best hit, which is Particle Rock, that had masses of people rocking to the sweet song of the soca song. Bong also had some social commentary, both international, even for the international audience, as well as local and regional. One of the songs that he made was a song in response to what happened in the 90s when President Bill Clinton was bringing pressure to bear on the smaller islands, including Sims and Grenadines.
Artist and chairman of the 9 Mornings Committee, Orandi Bomani Charles, also paid tribute to the late Calypsonians and extends condolences to their families and friends and fans. Bomani, who remixed the late Sir D's 1992 big hit in 2002, shared his experience working together with him.
And we went in the studio and we recorded it, sung the main, Kamal Archibald. We had it there for a while, a couple of years. We were trying to get in touch with Sir D actually to get his blessing. And I think around that time he had thought from the Calypso field that, in fact, nobody I knew where he was. And it took us quite a while to pin him down. And eventually we met, I think, in about, the same year the song was released. We met after we decided that we weren't sure where he was. We were going to put the song out as a means of preserving the studio quality of the song. And I think that sort of pulled him out of the woodwork, because having a discussion and ended up coming to some agreement. And I think it was the first time he was able to register himself as a songwriter with a copyright collection, a copyright society. Mm-hmm. So all rights and royalties went to him.
MP for East Kingstown and former player of Team SVG, Fitzgerald Bramble, also shared fond memories of Bong Sukarno and Sir D.
When I came back from university in 1991, I immediately got back onto the senior national team, and Bong was the president of the Football Federation at the time. And around that time, that's when St. Vincent and the Grenadines first entered into the World Cup qualifiers. It's the first time we ever entered into a World Cup qualifier game. And we did well enough. We beat St. Lucia in the preliminary, and then we beat Suriname to go on to play in the semifinals of CONCACAF. That's when we were grouped with Mexico, Costa Rica, and Honduras. And Bong was the manager. He was the president of the Football Federation, as I said. He was also the manager of the national team at that time. And it was a big deal because it was the first time St. Vincent was really venturing into such stratosphere, if I can use that term, of football. So he had to his administration had to deal with things like television rights. It's the first time players got into TV ads. We got big-time sponsorships. I mean, the whole work.
The Carnival Development Corporation, the CDC, in a news release, expressed condolences to the family and friends of Bong Sukarno. The CDC said that Cato was deeply committed to the overall development of Calypsonians, the Calypso component, and was a key practitioner of this art form, a feature of which was his commanding stage presence and gifted personality. The association said, as president of the SVG Calypsonians Association, Cato served as a member of the then Carnival Development Committee, and during his tenure, he spearheaded the initiative to have the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Band accompanying the national finals of the Calypso Monarch competition. The CDC further added that his Bong Sukarno rock composition remains one of the all-time favorites, which took him to the Soca Monarch finals in 1997. He was also part of the National Calypso Monarch finals in 1999.